I think I must speak a little bit about how I discovered and noticed that there was something wrong with me. I've noticed it for a very long time, but I'm talking about the thing that I always noticed was my issue, at least in adulthood, my inability to control my feelings. Just sudden outbursts of rage. I've had them all my life, which is strange because I see myself as a quite logical person, a person of reason, of science, and I'm not a violent person. I hate violence and all that, but yet I could have these outbursts of extraordinary rage. That was the main thing for a long time in my life, that I noticed this, and it just bothered me, but I didn't think so much about it. But then in my last relationship, I had a tendency to fall very deep into depression, and it just came out of nowhere, instantly, rapidly. And then I could just as easily just step out of it, and everything felt normal again. And when I tried to Google, I accidentally Googled borderline personality syndrome. I was supposed to Google bipolar, but I screwed up. And that's a good thing, because holy shit, I matched everything on that list. Now, I don't want to get into everything that's typical of a borderline, but yeah, you should really look it up yourself at a trusted, good page, and you should really, in the end, if you suspect anything, seek professional aid. I mean, there's no substitute for it. I'm presuming that people are more interested in perhaps starting this journey, or just thinking about how it felt for them, or yeah, just taking a walk with my cat. Yeah, you're seeing it. There's a rabbit out in the field. Yeah. We're just going to leave that alone, okay? So, borderline personality disorder. How does it affect me? It's been stages in my life where I have struggled a lot with controlling my emotions. Basically just being very upset about mundane, ordinary things, like dropping a thing on the floor and being really angry about this. And then there's general life things. I've failed with so many things in life. A thing you can contribute to many conditions, not just this. This is very common with AD&D, for example, which I might also have. It's not really relevant, because the relevant aspect of it all is my inability to control emotions, which bothers me a lot, because I consider myself a logical person, a very reasonable person. So not being able to see logic when you know what's logical is really, really annoying. It basically feels like suddenly there's a mutiny aboard the ship, and the captain, a reasonable and calm person, is being sidelined by some madman who just is paranoid, is upset about the silliest things in life. And yeah, that caused a lot of trouble for me when I was in my latest relationship, because she was a person who was very easygoing and sometimes probably assumed stuff that I didn't, and we didn't communicate about things perhaps as we should. So she experienced my outbursts of paranoia and jealousy and everything like that, all the nasty stuff. And well, there it is. This is something that I think is the most common thing about males with borderline, is an inability to handle relationships. Now, I'm not going to say I'm bad at handling relationships. I'm bad at handling certain aspects in a relationship, like bad communication. I need someone to talk with me about stuff all the time so that I know it's okay. And especially if the person is very different from me, it can be hard. So, I guess that is my main thing in life right now. It's a combination of inability to finish things, complete things, and just crashing straight down into deep depression for sometimes very silly reasons, but it is very often connected to relationship things. If you read on people with borderline personality disorder, you're going to see that a very common thing is a strong need for a secure and just very safe relationship. And when you have that, then there's no problem. If there is good unconditional love, then borderline won't be a problem. Borderline is not a permanent condition that's constant in your life. They say that it can also actually be cured in some ways. I don't know about that. I think it can be dormant and non-existent in your life. And that is something completely different than curing it completely. I don't think that is possible, actually. I've noticed in myself that when I've been in periods of feeling very safe, very secure, that I don't feel anything reminiscent of the problems I have otherwise. And yeah, that makes it so strange. When you read on many other things, like just standard depression, it's more of a thing, a phase you're in, and then you're treated either via therapy or medicine or something like that, and things get better. I don't feel those things in that way. I experience just sudden outbursts, and then I can go long periods of times where things are just good. And I've tried medications, I've tried antidepressants, and they don't do anything. They kind of just leave me feeling numb, but not really solving anything. I could still get those intense outbursts of depression straight through the medication. Nothing happened. Like there was absolutely no thing at all helping me. And I kind of doubted from the start that my depression was something easily cured. That was my initial thought. Then I started to realize just a couple of years ago that this has to be something else. I have to suffer from something other than just a permanent depressive condition. It must be something more. And that's how I started getting into deep and Googling like so many other people. Yeah, I'm not the type of person that asks for help. I'm not the type of person that goes to the doctor. I basically have to be dying for it to happen. That's the way I am. And I don't seek help that way. Not until I know what it is, and or I'm dying or I generally think I can get help. So I went to the doctor knowing that I had borderline, and very much so. I can't remember now. I scored very high on the 7 of 9 of the criteria they have. You can Google all that. And yeah, I'm constantly living with now, because I still live in a, you can't really imagine it looking where I am, the settings, but I'm living in a very troublesome social environment. I'm not really sure where I am when it comes to a relationship. I'm not really in a good financial spot. Those things are not good to have to struggle with, well, as anyone, but especially if you have a borderline condition. Those things really matter on my outcome and how good my future will be. I have to get those things sorted out. And you know, it's the catch-22. To sort those things out, I need to be in a good spot. So, you know, you take a little step forward and you take 2 steps back, and then you take 2 steps forward and a little step back, and I really don't know where I am sometimes. And I live much day by day for this reason. I try to avoid getting stuck in worrying about the future, because worrying, yeah, that don't help anything, does it? No. Stoicism, you know, that is a philosophy that I'm trying to look into, and on paper it's perfect. Stoicism is a goal I should aspire to, but, well, you know, it's easy to do that in theory. In practice, when I get a mutiny on board the ship and that emotional idiot takes over, there's no stoicism aboard that ship. Stoicism is left behind in port, and we're going out on a wild ride on the ocean. So, yeah, that is the everyday life of having a full-blown borderline when it's really bad. Other times, when everything is really good, yeah, then there's no problem at all. I'm just like anyone else. I'm currently working on fixing some of my outer aspects of life. I'm going to a professional school to get a degree in just an ordinary standard profession. I aspired once to do a PhD in geology, but I left that behind. I noticed that I couldn't handle the stress. Now I know why. God, I wish so many times that I knew what I knew today. So many things could have been different, for sure. I could have had a completely different life if I knew what I knew today. Not saying that I can handle my outbursts, my mutiny today. I can, but at least I know what's happening. I realize that, hey, it's that idiot again taking over. It's because of the borderline. Well, I'll be damned. What do you say, Nisse? Nisse? Get over here, get over here. Yeah, this is a stubbly field that we're walking in. Probably a lot of annoying noises from me walking on the short stubble here. Anyway, this is just a little introduction to how I experience my borderline. I know that the condition can feel a lot different for other people and so, but I think this is not that uncommon to have a life where there is this strange Mr. Hyde hiding in the background that just bursts out, and sometimes it's rage, sometimes it's just fear of abandonment, of course, standard borderline condition. Depression is always a phase of it, and yeah, it sucks. There's no other way to say it. Borderline sucks really bad, but I'm working hard in trying to get a grip on my life and the condition. If this channel persists and I do a lot of videos, there might be a future where I can report on completely other things. That would be great, wouldn't it? I would appreciate that a lot myself, of course. I'm old now. Well, not that old. I'm close to 50, but I want a life where I'm normal. That's an easy way to put it, because it is really hard when it's hard. It's a deep suicidal depression you fall into, and that is, yeah, that's not pretty. Not pretty at all. So this has been a little bit of a, just like my other clip, a rambling, unscripted discussion on my experience as a middle-aged man with borderline personality disorder. I think I called it borderline syndrome in my introductory video. That was wrong. I don't know why. I just lost the name there for a while. Well, I guess people know what I was talking about anyway. And you should watch the videos I make in chronological order. Perhaps you'll notice a change, a difference in me over time, and can let me know, because I might not be able to detect it myself. That's a strange thing about this, that sometimes I'm very aware about how wrong something is, and then there are periods where I'm just a moron, a complete blind moron that miss completely what the problem is. And yeah, it kind of sucks. So let me know in the comments what your experiences of borderline is and how you're dealing with it in just an everyday life. I'm not talking about various therapy methods here. I'm just talking about what's important to you. My key things are, as I said, getting my external life in order, feeling secure. Those things matter very much for me, and I've noticed that my outcome is probably going to be very dependent on how those things change for me, and that is hard. You need patience for some things to change, and yeah, having patience is not as easy sometimes when it's your life and you see things slipping out of between your fingers, like love life, like friends, like economy, like, yeah, everything that matters. It's hard. It's really hard. Hopefully I will have this guy around sometime to just give me comfort in the everyday life. And I try real hard just to enjoy everyday life. The countryside surrounding me here, very calming, very distressing, and I need that. I tend to stress out a lot about things that I can't handle, can't control. So it's important. It's important to become a little bit, how should I put it? Almost a bit Vulcan, a bit psychotic in your handling of feelings. You know, not caring as much as I do about things sometimes. That would aid me. I've noticed many times that when I feel good, I mean really good, it's not so much just passionate happiness. Sometimes when I feel at best is when things are just calm, when there is no problem. That is what for me is often a very genuine feeling of happiness. I mean, this is the general misconception at all with depression, you know, that you can't laugh. I mean, I can laugh my ass off when I'm really depressed. That's no problem. It's what happens late at night when you lay there in bed or in your couch in front of the TV, when your mind starts to drift. That's the bad spot. Distractions are incredibly important. I am going to go in on how I deal with things more in the future, practical things I do. This was just an overview, a description, and so of how I experience borderline. And yeah, we'll hear each other soon in the future again. I'm thinking the best of this beautiful late summer weather and filming. In wintertime it's going to get cold and nasty, and I might not be able to film as much outside. So yep, I'm going to do a lot of videos now and probably release a lot of them, some of them a bit later. Yeah, I'm not sure yet. There's a lot of things I'm not sure yet about this channel. It's not at all professional. I'm trying to make it as much from my heart as possible. I'm probably not going to show myself very much on it. I have no interest in getting my face out there. I have a daughter. She doesn't need her father being a YouTube celebrity. I don't think so, at least. I don't think she would mind that much. It's not that, but I would mind. I have no real desire of becoming famous. So, there you have it. Just some strange dude with a strange accent filming nature. That is the theme of this channel, and trying to talk about various topics, mostly mental health. But yeah. Have a good one, folks. Signing out.